Hi, welcome to my second episode on building this or trying to build this cockpit, this 737 cockpit. And actually, on these first few episodes, I'm going to assemble what is the lights panel on the 737. I just made here a rough mock-up of what it is. So this is on the upper overhead panel. It's on the lower part of it, where you have your landing lights, your APU start, your engine starts, and a few of the lights on the Boeing 737. So that's what we're going to try to do. And today I just want to let you know what I figured out in the last couple of weeks studying for this project. And so here we go. So as far as parts are concerned, we're going to need a bunch of switches, and three different types of switches. We need these on-off switches, and of these we're going to need 9 of those. We have also here we're going to need these on switch, but with the little parenthesis over one of the sides, because it goes like this. You turn it off, or here when you go in one side it springs right back. So we're going to need this one. It's for the APU start. And then we have 3 position switches, on, off, on. Okay, we're going to need 4 of these, and we're going to need 2 of these rotary switches. So this is for the engine starts. Okay, so that's basically the switches that we're going to need for this panel. So actually, this is how it's going to go, and there is a picture up here where all these switches going to go. So on, off, on 3-way switches, 1, 2 for the landing gear, because this one is the retractable one. On, off for the other 2 switches of landing gear. Here for the runway turn off, it's going to be one on off, another one on off. Taxi lights will be another one on off button. APU, it's that special switch on off with parentheses that when you go into start, you flip the switch down, and when you release it, it will go automatically on the on position. Then in here on the engine starts, you have one of the rotary switches. Here you got another on, off, on switch, which will mount it, we will assemble it. Instead of up and down, we're going sideways. Okay, here another rotary switch. Here on the logo lights of the airplane, on off switch. The strobes, it's a 3-way switch, on, off, on. The anti-collision lights is a simple on, off. Wing lights, simple on, off. And wheel well, also a simple on, off button. So that's in the picture there. That's how we're going to assemble it. Everything is going to be connected to Arduino Mega 2560. That's what I'm using here, and this is a clone made in China, but they work pretty good. So everything is going to be controlled by these Arduino cards. I'm sure you can find videos, a bunch of videos. It connects through a printer USB port that goes to a USB on your computer, and then you program it, and it makes the panel run. So that's what we're going to use. But for the assembly of these, because it's going to be hard to actually have to solder wire to the switches and then bring these wires on the different connectors here. And I find it that it's going to be very hard just to fix them here, or either you have to solder on the back of the plate. You can do it also solder all the wires on the back of the plate, but I'm really bad at soldering. So I find a solution, which is I bought this part, which it sticks over your Arduino. So it sticks right in there on all the slots of your Arduino. And it actually, your wire goes in here and you can screw it in. So this secures the wires in your Arduino and it's going to be more safe. And this is super, super cheap. So you just buy it and it's a very good solution. So now, as far as the panel is concerned, and as I showed you before, I had a mock-up done here. I was thinking about a few materials. Wood would be a choice, but it would be too heavy. Acrylic would be a really nice choice, but I have a very hard time finding here in the place where I live someone or some company that has the machine to laser cut the acrylic for me. Metal would be the same problem as far as cutting is concerned. So I did some tests and I did some research and I found out that I can do these, and well, we'll try and we'll see how it comes out with foam board. And foam board is quite cheap. It's this foam board that is really not really foamy, not really soft, but it's a little bit hard. It's a 3mm foam board. And even though on these big pieces which are super cheap, they're not that strong, but we are going to use 2 of these, or cut 2 panels. One which we will put all the switches on one of the foam boards, and then another foam board on top, and then I will have a sticker printed and just print it over it, so to give you the final look. Actually, I did a mock-up, a few tries, so this is no way final. This is just a draft. This is how it's going to end up. Okay, of course it will be much more nicer than this. It's just a rough cut. I cut the panel to the dimensions, and I will, in the end of this series, I'll post all my files so you guys can have access to it. This foam board is really easy to cut. You just mark it as if it was paper, and you use one of these just to cut your board, and it's very easy to work. Very easy, very cheap, and that's the 2 main objectives of the things that I'm building here: to be cheap, to be as nice looking as possible, but I'm not too much concerned about the looks. I'm more concerned about the functionality, and I don't want to spend much money on it. So I just printed a paper just to put on top of it, just to see how it looked in the end. The only thing with this foam board that gave me the most problems was cutting the holes so I can fix my switches on it. So I'm going to show you, this looks terrible, actually terrible, because I was doing some tries with different stuff. I got it all marked and I made all the holes to put my switches, but they look really bad. Because I was using the wrong technique to do it, and I later find out that it's actually very easy to do. For example, for these switches, the on and off switches, the on off on switches, all of these actually they need to be cut on with a 6mm hole on it. So I got a 6mm one of these. And in order to cut a perfect hole in here, it's very easy. You just need to heat this one up, put it over fire a little bit. Don't heat it too much, otherwise it melts the foam board. Make it a little bit hot, and just go through it, and it goes as butter, and it's a perfect hole. So that's what we are going to do on the final, and I'm showing you these on the next episode. So we got all the stuff that we need already. So we got the foam board that we're going to cut. This one was just a draft, and I'm going to show you guys that on the next episode, cutting the foam board. Actually, we got the wire. This is not actually yet the final wire, I think, because it is too stiff. I want to go to something more soft, but we're going to solder all these wires onto the switches, attach it to the Arduino, connect it, and then I'll show you how you can interact between the Arduino with everything connected there and the flight simulator and the PMDG737 itself. So that should be basically it. We got everything. I'm expecting that in the next week or so I can film making all the steps, cutting the board, and I'll speed it up so you guys don't have to put up with me for such a long time. And then soldering all the wires, connecting into the Arduino. I'm going to have files on all these things set up so you guys can refer to them, and we're going to see how it goes. So this is a quick episode just showing you the things that arrived, and everything is here, all the materials you're going to need. If you have any suggestions as far as materials are concerned and something that is easy, as you see the big board is quite flexible, but when you cut it on this dimension, this is 63 centimeters by, I can't remember, maybe 15 or something. I have the dimensions there on the file. If you cut it, look, it doesn't wobble that much, and it's a 3 millimeter thick, so there will be two of them, which will make it 6 millimeter, and it's going to be much more stiff, and I think it will work. Even if I have to put some support on the back, if it's still a little bit wobbly, we can just work it out as we go along. So for the next episode, we're going to start assembling everything. This is the materials we need, super cheap. I will try to find out all the prices that I paid for and also post it. And keep in touch, keep following. Let's see how this project goes. And there is a lot more to come. Thank you. See you next time.